Hello, welcome to another Gundam Operation 2 video. This is my second time doing a recording here because the first time it was going really well, and then I hit the depression part of the video, and then and I looked and I did the microphone never or no Audacity, I think, yeah, Audacity never turned on, so yeah, I had to start over, and I'm still in depression mode from then I start laughing. But yeah, this is the new suit, the Jesta Shezarr type Team B. Yeah, it's a 650 support. Somehow it's 650. Yeah, we're getting real in here right now. A lot of people, including me, when the suit came out, they're like, "Yeah, what is this shit?" 650 support. Actually, that's a lie. There's some good 650 supports. Let's go ahead and get to the stats. You have 18,000 health, 33 ballistic and beam resistance, 6 melee strength, 20 range strength, 15 melee strength, 110 movement speed, 190 boost speed, 60 thruster gauge, 60 turning speed, which turns into 69 in space. Nice. And for slots, you have 10 close, 18 mid, and 20 long range slots. And yeah, obviously 18,000 health, 6 melee resistance, not very good. You do have some good resistances in regards to ballistic and beam. The 20 range strength is kind of weird, but I did buff that up. I think the build I'm using here for both of these matches, I do have two matches I forgot to mention. This first one's a raiding match at City Ruins. Second match is going to be a resource satellite quick match in space. Yeah, the build I have here is range focused. I intend to just kind of hang back, even though this thing does have some weapons that help it at close range. But obviously, with the it being a support, having low melee resistance, and for some reason not having balancers. Don't know why they love not giving supports at 650 balancers. Yeah, I don't want to get close to people, so I did range focus. There's some other stuff you can do. You can do like a thruster gauge build for your defense mode, something like that. I wouldn't do it because I don't really trust defense mode half the time, but you know, you can do that. I did see some reload parts as well that can be pretty good for your other weapons that are not heat focused. I mean, even your primary weapon here, which we're going to get into now, which is the Jesta beam rifle, which is 1,700 damage with 6 rounds, 350 range, and of course it is the Jesta beam rifle. So if you charge it, it will consume 3 shots. So if you have 6, that will go down to 3. Yay! So you can do, you can either use all 6 of your shots, or you can use half your ammo for a burst and then use the rest normally, or you can use 2 3-round bursts. So, and honestly, with this suit being a support, it does do some good damage output, right? You can hit somebody 3 times in a row and get some nice damage build up. Next weapon is the Jesta beam saber, which is 2,400 damage, and yeah, it's the Jesta's beam saber, same as with the Jesta beam rifle. It's Jesta beam saber, shares the same melee moveset, and I believe because I think this thing does have a little bit higher of a modifier, so it does, or maybe it's just because it's support, but it does do some good melee damage. I've gotten close to 3,000, a little bit over 3,000 damage on downswings. But again, unfortunately, you don't have balancers. You can't really make use of that as well as you could have. But yeah, on to secondary weapons. You have Shezarr Team Vulcan Pod System, which is 130 damage per round with 40 rounds and 175 range. And yeah, it's pretty good damage for a Vulcan, and I believe it stuns after 20 or 25 hits. Obviously, you want to throw in other weapons to get a stun and not just use the Vulcans. And of course, you can also use the Vulcans to target pilots as well. So yeah, nice. Just nice Vulcans overall. Next weapon is the waist-mounted grenade with 450 damage, 6 rounds, and 300 range. You have to, it's pretty much the Jesta's grenades where you have to stand still to fire, and then yeah, they fire in a straight line. Pretty good for teaming up with somebody. If somebody, you know, downswings an enemy, you can just follow up with that. Or, you know, mix it up with your other stun accumulation weapons. Get a stun that way. I believe it takes 4 hits to stun, maybe a little bit more. Next weapon is the Shield Twin Missile Launcher ×2, which is 700 damage with 4 rounds and 300 range. And this is pretty much exactly the same as the regular Jestas. Another, you know, common thing with the Jesta there. it fires the same way, where instead of something like the Jagen's shield missiles, where it go 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, shoot everything out at once, or, you know, one at a time. This suit will actually it'll do 1, 2, and then you'll do a quick cooldown time, and then it'll go 1, 2 again. A little bit awkward to get used to, but when you do get used to it, it does take 3 of the 4 missiles to get a stun, and it does do some good damage. You know, it is 700 damage, and this is ballistic, so if you're a eager support, I've gotten consistently 1000 damage against generals, so that's pretty nice. Oh, I forgot to mention, I also put educational computer on the suit as well, so for this build. So a lot of range, 40 range damage, and then educational computer. So I'm good on range. So that's how I'm getting 1000 damage on some generals. But yeah, good for stun accumulation, and yeah, good damage. Next weapon, the final weapon for secondary weapons, is the Mega Beam Launcher, which is 1100 damage with a 100% heat rate and 600 range. And when you do charge it, you have to stand still to charge it. And when you do, it is a Jirobi beam. You know, it doesn't instant stun. I believe it does a few ticks of damage, and I believe it takes the 2nd or 3rd tick to get a stun, accumulation-wise. It does not heavy stagger, unfortunately. Kind of wish it did, but I guess understandable. With, you know, it's like kind of like a sniping suit that, you know, goes 600 range. They don't want it to be doing. Well, don't want it to be doing too much now, right? Yeah, right. And of course, you do have a new skill called Rapid Sniping. This turns the suit into or turns this weapon specifically this weapon, the Mega Beam Launcher, into a rapid fire beam weapon. And as you noticed, if you've seen me scoping in, it only works. Rapid sniping only works if you're zoomed in. You have to zoom in and then charge. You can't charge it and then zoom in. Or you know, if you're trying to cheese the Mega Launcher, you can't zoom in, charge really fast, and then zoom out and fire something. Right? It'll be whatever weapon you charged it for. But when you anyway, the rapid fire beam, I've gotten consistently 1,600 damage, all the way to 2,000 damage against some generals. And I believe, yeah, it has a really low heat rate, really fast charge time, and if you want to expend all of your shots, I believe it'll take 7 or 8 shots before it overheats. I did test it for my testing out video for the suit, and honestly, it can vomit out damage if you're not being interrupted. It can be pretty gross, especially if the enemy is fighting your teammate and he can't really handle you at the moment. Pretty good for laying down fire. I really like this skill with this this weapon. And obviously, it's kind of the skill is kind of a test bed for future suits that have this skill. But yeah, I'm kind of liking what I see right here. So yeah, that makes the Mega Beam Launcher a pretty good weapon. I like it. Anyway, timeout on this first match. We'll see what we got going on real fast. Mission completed. On City Ruins too with the suit. Hey, top individual, was not expecting that. I'm going to praise the raid, and I believe our Delta Chi. Yep, there we go. And hey, first place, 4-1. Definitely was not expecting first place out of that, but hey, you know, I'll take that. Next match again is the space match and resource satellite. Yeah, Mega Beam Launcher, pretty nice with the rapid fire skill. And you know, obviously it by itself with the Jirobi beam, pretty nice as well. And for your skills, you have radar level 3, you have scope level 4, and I can't remember. I think there might be another suit that has scope level 4, but scope level 4 pretty much, if you're scoped in, you can actually you get a plus 20 turning speed while you're scoped in, and I actually really like this. Usually when I'm talking about skills, when it comes to scope, I kind of skip over it. You're like, okay, scope, yeah, whatever. This one, I like it because you actually do get benefit of getting more turn speed while zoomed in. This allows you to catch up with enemies that are fleeing, you know, sideways, you know, to where it's harder to Some suits will make it harder to follow them while you're scoped in when they're boosting sideways or around corners, something like that. But now that you have faster turning speed, it makes it easier to follow up on your shots, right? Or follow in with your shots. So yeah, I like that. You also have personnel radar, so you can see a pilot on the ground or in space, whichever. You can see pilots on your radar. You have data link. You have scouting device, so you can see your map while you're scoped in. You have aerospace gimbal level 2, so you can zoom in. Or no, you can move up and down further in space. You have a better pivot angle. You have anti-jamming, just in case any bola nooks are around, you got anti-jamming. You have precision shelling, which is a plus 5% to your damage while you're crouched. And to go along with that, you do have stabilization device, which if you're crouched, it doesn't happen immediately, but when you are crouched, you can actually tank stuns. Now, unfortunately, stun accumulations still work on you, so like let's say like a Delta Plus is in the match. Delta Plus against a regular player without damage control, 2 hits will stun somebody with its beam rifle. And if it sees you and you have stabilization device, it will still take 2 hits to stun you. So you have to be really careful. And of course, you don't have any damage reduction just from having stabilization device. So if you're just out in the open, crouched, you're going to be taking full damage. So just make sure you're kind of not doing that. You got to make use of your stabilization device, right, to tank stuns and provide damage. You have AMBAC level 2. You have left shoulder buffer, which I believe that's where your shield is, and that is 10% less damage if you get hit there. You have, I did mention rapid fire, or rapid sniping. I'm going to keep calling it rapid fire. You have rapid sniping, which I already mentioned, changes your mega beam launcher. It's a new skill, and honestly feels like a test bed for future suits to have this. Pretty nice skill. Kind of sort of makes the suit, in a way. And finally, you have... I forgot to mention for the Mega Beam Launcher as well, because of the changes to the weapon. The weapon, it does take 2 hits to stun, accumulation-wise, and it actually penetrates through teammates as well. So if your teammate's getting attacked, I believe you saw it sometime in this match, where if a teammate is running up, you're afraid of stunning your teammate by shooting them. First of all, the beam rifle does not stun initially, so you can shoot through your teammates, and because you can penetrate through them, you can hit the enemy, and it does take 2 hits to stun somebody, without damage control, of course. So yeah, plenty of opportunities to save a teammate, which is pretty nice. I guess kind of like right here, although obviously he was being attacked by more people, but I don't know, there's something that happens later on. There we go, yeah, it wasn't that part, no, that guy died. Yeah, rapid sniping, pretty good skill. And finally, you have defense mode, which is just worse active guard, like bad active guard. Now, defense mode was on the Kshatriya originally. However, I felt like this skill was more appropriate on the Kshatriya because Kshatriya already had amazing survivability with its shoulder binders, and so having that plus 30% damage reduction is okay. Of course, if a Banshee walked up and heavy attacked you or an EZZ, they'll still kill you, right? But it worked for what it was doing. This suit, however, yeah, defensive mode only gives you minus 30% less damage taken. Compared to active guard level 1 having 70% less damage. Yeah, it's depending on the suit you're fighting at 650, you might as well just not have it. And of course, because it's a active guard like ability, if you get hit while you're doing it, there is a delay before you can act out of it. There was actually a part in the last match where I was fighting an O and a Jagd Doga GG, or I think it might have been QA, a Jagd Doga, right? Where I actually activated defense mode, pressing touchpad, activate defense mode, and I was taking less damage, but I was stuck in a lock because they would just keep hitting me, and I couldn't get out of it. So, yeah, not the preferable way to die, but I guess I made them waste more of their ammo, but there are some benefits for defense mode, of course. Obviously you can use it to tank a stun. If you time it right, you can use it to prolong your life longer. in case, you know, your teammates are nearby, and, you know, it's better to almost die than to not die, right? Yeah, honestly, though, I think this suit should have had active guard instead, and it's kind of embarrassing looking at defense mode compared to last week's suit, the Gustav Karl with active guard level 3. Gustav Karl with active guard level 3 is a fucking Chad of a suit. This suit is like the version with defense mode. I guess that's our answer to what active guard for supports will be. It will be defense mode, and I fucking hate it. It should be active guard. Get rid of defense mode. It's fine on the Kshatriya because it already has amazing defensive capabilities. On this suit, yeah, no. It's just fucking no. Make it active guard. Come on now. It's literally a Jesta. And the Jesta has active guard. But yeah, anyway, that's going to lead into the pros and cons. You can already tell how pissed off I am with the suit. Pros and cons. This is going to be kind of a weird con, but the way this suit is designed, gameplay-wise, is kind of weird. I feel like the people who designed this suit haven't played 650 recently. Your weapons, to not talk about the sniping first, most of your weapons are going to be mid-range to close range. You have a beam rifle that's 350 range, you have Vulcans that are 175, and you have ballistic weapons that are 300 range each. Obviously, with having 6 melee resistance, playing at mid-range to close range is kind of a risk. And even if you're playing at sniping, now if we bring sniping into this, if you're playing sniper, there are a lot of suits that can counter you at this cost, even with your benefits like stabilization device and defense mode. First of all, if let's say you're sniping like a supply depot, Delta plus. Alright, so I'm crouched. I'm like, okay, what can we do here? Nothing, because Delta's going to shoot you twice, you get stunned, and then it'll probably fly towards you, or, you know, just hit you with a stun lock with its actual stun, and then keep firing at you, and probably kill you. Or, actually, time out real fast. Some good works all around. Fortunately, we lost at the end there, but still felt like I did something at least. I think we did something. And, hey, top assist, so I was helping out my team a little bit with getting kills. I believe I got some good damage off as well. Yeah, 3rd place in damage, almost 100k, and unfortunately, one kill, 3 deaths, and not too much done in the individual score and getting stuns with pursuit assist. But hey, good assist, I guess. 7th place, unfortunately, but yeah, another suit that can be a real problem to you is the JCA. JCA has a beam rifle that charges fast to give it a heavy stagger. Obviously, stabilization device is not going to work against that. There's also the Jagd Doga GG that has a heavy stagger when it charges its shield. Worst part is if you try to stun it back, if you shoot around its shield, it can absorb the stun. So yeah, it can just do that and heavy stagger you, and then it has really nasty range combos. So when you get heavy staggered, you're going to get followed up by a ton of stuff. And if we're going back to playing close range, obviously raids are going to be a huge problem, heavy attacks and all that. But there's even some generals that will fuck you up, like the O with its melee strength. Having 6 range melee strength at 650 is not fun. And that's not even to consider some other downsides here is that you don't have balancers or force injectors at 650. And it's funny thinking about how in Unicorn, the series Unicorn, Gundam Unicorn, where I believe it's Dakar or Torrington. I think one of the Jesta pilots mentions, oh, look, a bunch of walking war museums. This suit feels like a walking war museum. It's so old school the way it is, where it's like focused on sniping, or has a focus on sniping, and has some new skills on it, right? That can potentially help it out. But it fucking sucks. Where it can get bullied extremely easily. It's so, just feels so, like they could have done better. You can't follow up on your stuns or your stun accumulations like other suits. You cannot use your boost gauge to like try and trick people up. Like maybe I'll boost this way and quickly boost this other way to avoid a stun. The most you got is defense mode, which granted can be helpful in some situations, but yeah, it's no. And that's kind of a bad thing if your suit can struggle on both fronts, in sniping and in close range. This thing has a lot of counters at 650, whether it's sniping or close range. Yeah, it's just, you have to be really careful how you play with your team to kind of make this a little bit more of a positive. If you're actually left alone, which honestly at this point, I'm not even talking about pros and cons, I'm just talking at this point, but if your team is actually, doing their job as a team to make the raid not go after you, actually, I believe for these two matches here, I was hardly touched by the enemy raid. So I was allowed to get some good damage opportunities off, which is actually quite nice. The sniping on the skill is really good. You can obviously just keep wailing on people with the rapid fire skill or rapid sniping skill. That's a really good positive for this suit. I really like that. But yeah, realistically, most matches you're gonna have, the raid is gonna be up your ass, or somebody is. They're gonna go, oh hey, support, I'm gonna shoot you now, and I'm gonna melee you. Yeah, it's not fun. Some other positives, I guess, is you do have you do have some good damage potential, not only with the rapid sniping skill, but if you manage to not get fucked over if you're in close range, your weapons will do some good damage. Like I said, the Jesta beam rifle with the fully charged, with the three shots in it, being a sport, that'll get some good damage off. The Vulcans are good. The grenades and the missile launchers, yeah, all the weapons do good damage. The issue is just the cost you're at. And with the resistance you have, 6 melee resistance, and you have 18,000 health as well. Yeah, it's just it does not really help out. Which is, yeah, it really does not feel like the devs really they haven't recently played the cost they're making a new suit for. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like. I just gave up on the pros and cons at this point. I'm just go ahead and go straight for it. I do not recommend this suit. You guys can type up in the comment section if you guys like the suit or not. Subscribe if you want to, all that good stuff. No, it's not worth it. It has some good things, don't get me wrong. The rapid sniping skill I want to see on other suits, and I think if you're left alone, you can do really well. But this makes me bring up a quote that I had from the R Jarja Buffed or Scuffed video, where if you are only good because the enemy team is bad, that doesn't make you a good suit. And yeah, I think the suit is not... Maybe if it was at a lower cost, there's less suits that can just hard counter it. Like I said, the Delta Plus and the JCA, the Jagd Doga GG, these are very, very common suits at 650. This suit will struggle heavily. Honestly, I got really lucky with these two matches. So yeah, I'll probably play this suit a few more times for like a day or two, and I'm gonna drop it. I recommend you guys play other supports, like Gaemok or Full Armor Haikushiki Kai. Fuck it, even C1. I say even C1. C1 can still be pretty good with its heavy stagger combo, right? Which is kind of, man. Yeah, even, you know what, I would say just a cannon even. Level 2 just a cannon. Does that thing even have balancers? Even if it doesn't have balancers, it feels a little bit more consistent in the mid-range area where it can, like, has multiple stun options and can break legs really easily. This suit, yeah, I just don't recommend this suit at all. I'm not the first person to say this, but I can already feel buffs coming in for this suit already. yeah, that's pretty much going to be it. It was funny, as I mentioned, this was my second take doing this video. The first recording, I was kind of happy, and then I was like, let me talk about this and this and that, and then it kind of carried over this recording, unfortunately. But yeah, no. I think I'm gonna keep saying this every time a new support for 650 is gonna come out, but just give them balancers. I mean, that's not the main issue with the suit. Come on, man. Why is it missing force injectors and balancers? Why? God damn it. Anyway, yeah, that's gonna be it. I'll see you guys later. Bye.